What's up, YouTube? It's Nassman 72 coming at you from the hashtag Dirty South. I got a special guest on here tonight, up and coming Instagram or social media breaker, Big C Little T Sports Cards in the house from NYC.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Carter from Big C Little T Sports Cards. How's everybody doing?
Hey, y'all, this is a live session. We got 2 people on here already, and actually I'm on time tonight. So let's give a heck yeah. So during the course of this, y'all, we're going to be talking about breaking, learning about breaking, getting some background on Big C and how he got back in the hobby and whatnot, and the pros and cons of breaking and educating people about it, because I knew very little about it. And the only breaks I've ever been in has been this guy's breaks, and I did pretty good for myself, I think.
Yeah, you did.
But if y'all have got comments and questions, throw them up there. We'll put them up on the screen and whatnot. So, Big C, go ahead with it.
Yeah. So first of all, Robert, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. This is an honor. I've been baseball fan my whole life, right? I think for a lot of us, we've been either sports fans, baseball fans our whole life, and this is kind of a way that we can connect. With my playing years are behind me now, so sports cards is kind of something that I always used to be a big fan of, and for everybody. It's not just for kids, it's for kids, adults, and just keeping the hobby alive. I think is something that's pretty cool. So that's why I'm in the hobby now.
How long did you collect for?
So when I was a kid, baseball cards were everything. I used to carry around my Derek Jeter, my Jason Giambi cards with me, had them in my back pocket during games. I stopped, in college and then got back into it, about 2 years ago. So, the hobby as it is now, only for about 2 years.
Okay, cool. And what got you into breaking?
That's the thing. So when I got back into it, I was checking out, I'll never forget the first card I ever got. Was autograph card. First one I ever went after and bought on eBay. A huge Clayton Kershaw fan, and I bought a Clayton Kershaw Tier 1 patch auto. I was like, just kind of went nose deep, went big right away.
You went the deep end.
I want to see how does these come out? So I just typed them into YouTube, and I actually came across a great breaker called Cardsmith Breaks. They're huge. I watch their videos, just when I'm working out or doing whatever. And I was like, I want to do this. So kind of put that goal. And then one day, about around Christmas time, I was like, I want to do this. So let me see what it can take. And posted it on eBay. And the rest is history, as they say. 40 breaks down now. So
what's explain what breaking is to some of us that really don't know what breaking is. I saw breaking. I'm thinking break dancing.
Right.
Man.
So I think the best way to describe breaking is it's a group of people, who can't afford, a $500 hobby box, in some cases $3,000 now, hobby cases of a product that they really want. But they want it in on the action. They just don't know exactly the avenue to do it. So it's the way I describe it is it's a group of people. We're all sharing the box or the case amongst, whether if it's teams, 30 people, if it's divisions, 6. If I pick, I want the Yankees in an upcoming break. Every team that we open out of that box that is a Yankees player goes to me. Everybody, you might have the Nationals, you get a Juan Soto autograph, you might get Ryan Zimmerman. So it's kind of just the shared, and it really helps out everybody. Everybody kind of wins. If
you should have said Zimmerman with collecting with Connor in here.
What's up, collecting with Connor? How's it going, man?
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, so what's it like? Breaking as far as getting, how do you get product? Are you going to retail? What's the back?
So for me, this year has kind of been an eye-opening experience with, due to world events, the prices of things have skyrocketed, right? I was fortunate enough to kind of be ahead of that. I use the distributor blowout cards. I think they're really good. Steel City Collectors is also good. My LCS as well. But I was able to pre-order a lot of stuff before, so I was getting Bowman jumbo boxes for around 350, months before it came out. So I was kind of had the foresight, so I got kind of lucky there. And then they went all the way up to like 6. I'm not sure where they're at now, but that's really been a big help pre-ordering. But it's disposable income, right? So kind of just income. It is the way it should be, right? I'm a big fan of yours, so I watched your podcast before. If you can't put food on the table, if your lights are turning off, maybe you should go talk to somebody about it. But for me, yeah, I put out a decent chunk, but now it's kind of paying off because the prices have all gone up.
Was it hard starting out? Because as being a breaker and being able to get that product, was it hard to get established as a customer? Or
Absolutely. It takes a lot of trust, because there are a lot of people who in the community are called scammers, right? So they'll take your money and then say, oh yeah, you got this card coming, and then they delete their account. You'll never hear or see from them again. And you thought you had a $200 card coming or something like that. You spent money and now they disappeared. So the most difficult part, I think, is building that trust with people in the community. And if you're able to do that, now I have a really, really good, customer base that I have repeat customers. And I know if I post a break now, it's going to get sold, maybe in 2-3 days at most. Whereas before the first break I ever did, the one you did, it took me about a month and a half, 2 months to do. And that was just for one box. And I think the teams were like $15 the highest. So it's been it's been a long road.
Now, you use social media. I caught you on Instagram. How big has that been? I had to put the screen back because I actually got your last video up here on my big screen.
Instagram has been a game changer for me. I had some suggestions of people saying, hey, you should make an Instagram account. You should because I was just on eBay. I thought it would be easy. I thought if I posted a break on eBay, it would sell in minutes. It wasn't the case. I had to promote it. Instagram's been crazy for me. I started my account around January 1st, and now we have over 2,500 followers. It's just crazy. Wow. It's just crazy.
I remember when you started. I mean, it's not been that long ago.
No, it has not been. It's blown up. But so is sports cards and the hobby in general. I think, to you and me, I love the saying that you had, collect what you love and love to collect. I love that. That's how I feel about it. But to a lot of other people, you have Gary Vee in the game now. Now it's kind of an investment for a lot of people. You have stockbrokers, real estate guys who are now going after, sports cards, which is, kind of changing the market. But yeah, it hasn't been a long time, and I'm very, I'm just very thankful for all this support.
Now, how as a breaker, do you make sure, because I've heard it, and where I heard this was, and it wasn't even, I guess it was a break, but it was a private break, and it was off of Phil's Pools. Mm-hmm. And a lot, I'm sure you're probably familiar with the 1 or 2 videos that he did about it. He was catching a lot of flack. People were saying, well, you're not doing this live. We're not seeing, you're holding big cards. Mm-hmm. How do you address something like that as a break?
Yeah, so I think for him, it was one of the transcendent breaks he was doing where he kept on saying, this isn't this is recorded. I'm not doing it live. That's why I try to do all my stuff, live. Always show everything on screen. I try to be preventative. I make sure once I open the box, you see it come out of the sealed box. I put it right in front of me. All the cards are always on camera. The only time nothing's on camera is if it's already open from the pack. Put it off to the side after that. But I always keep the sealed packs right there. Just complete transparency, I think, and people appreciate that. I think.
Is that something that, I guess, I'm not saying that you've done that, but have people accused that of any of your stuff, or is you're being preventative to keep that from happening.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Just I think of it as a way as because I've joined breaks too. So for me, if I'm gonna break and all of a sudden I don't want any Houdini kind of stuff going on, so I try to prevent that and always just be completely transparent, and that goes a long way with people for sure.
Okay. How did when you're selling your brakes, do you try to mix up brakes with different products at different price levels? What would be some examples of some high end stuff for you that you do, and then some moderate stuff like I know that I've got into that was priced I thought pretty good.
Right.
Great to be able to. What happens when if you don't win? What do you do?
Right. So that's the thing, and that actually is going to parlay into another point that I'm going to bring up. I probably the most expensive things I've done has been case brakes of Topps Tier 1 for 2020. I did that. That was a big one. Teams were spanning anywhere from 30 to a $120 with full case. So, and the Dodgers and Yankees actually went hitless in my first break. The Dodgers and the Yankees in a full case of Tier 1. Those were the $120 spots. So after that, I thought to myself, man, like, I got to do something about that. And then I kind of had an idea, which is really taken off my page. And it's called, the repack. So I have two. I have a high price point one and a low price point one. The Big C autograph repacks, you get one autograph per pack. That's all that's in there. It's a sealed pack. One autograph, it's $100, but the checklist is very, very small, very exclusive. Only big names. Then I have, and my name is Big C Little T because I'm Big C. My name's Carter. My girlfriend is Talia. We call her Little T. So we kind of run this together. It's kind of our way to share our love of sports and baseball and baseball cards together. So we have the Little T packs, which is you get a graded card, a sealed hobby pack of a Topps product. Usually like 2018 update is in there. So if you're going for the Acuna Soto. Then you get a relic card, and that's like a lower price point. Throughout the night, I have some examples here. We can go throughout the night, but when people, I call it getting skunked. If you join a break and don't get anything, I always try to give break credit. If you want to come back and do another break, hey, I'll give you $3 off the next break if you come back. I know you didn't get anything, but that's kind of something that's kind of taken off for me. I've done a bunch. I just sold 40 Little T repacks last week, and then I think I've sold somewhere around like 30 or 35 of the Big C ones. So they've been a big hit.
It seems like that's a lot of logistics between doing breaks and doing repacks. So
right. So yeah, for me, I kind of started off. I think Bowman kind of was dying down. I broke everything I had for Bowman. There weren't any real new releases until Series 2, so I needed to kind of fill that gap. I didn't have any product. I had a bunch of product that was coming, but I didn't have anything at the moment. So I needed to kind of fill that gap, and that definitely helped.
With I know you do a lot of baseball. Are you considering moving into other products? Have you moved into I know basketball is like Sasquatch finding something, or a unicorn, I guess. All being Sasquatch. And I guess I don't know what we'll call football or anything product, but I mean, your soccer taking off, or are you into different avenues yet?
Yeah, so I tried. I was fortunate enough. I actually went to a Target one day after work, and I saw a box of Optic Mega Box. I saw it on the shelf. I was like, "Hey, I'll pick this up because I know this isn't easy to find. I'll pick it up and maybe I'll do a break with it." I did one basketball break. Pretty knowledgeable about basketball cards. Football is like, I know a lot about football. I don't know much about the cards though. So it's kind of funny how the cards are a completely different game. But yeah, just kind of sticking with baseball for now. I think if anything, I would avenue into a little bit more basketball. But for right now, I love what I do. I enjoy it. So, collect what you love to collect. It's, break what you love and love to break. So I love breaking. So
you just coined it. Now, I know we were talking before and wanted you to talk about your PC. Do you PC any cards? You touched on about what you started with.
Yeah, at PC, I'm a big Yankee guy. Mickey is my guy. I know. You got the World Series last year, so you got bragging rights for at least maybe for 2 years now. We'll see how everything goes. But, I'm a big Mickey guy. I'm a big old school 60s, 50s Mickey and Roger Maris guy. I PC Mickey a bunch. I got every single Mickey graded except for the rookie. So
Wow.
I got it. I know I got to set my game up a little bit. But yeah, I love Mickey. I love collecting them. Like I said, I got some of my stuff right here. This is probably my favorite. Get that in the camera there, without the glare. That's a 53 Mickey. That's probably my favorite. The 54 Bowman as well. I got that in that SGC slab. I hope we can talk a little bit about PSA SGC tonight. I'm sure we will. And then here's a 56, which is an iconic card as well. So I definitely PC Mickey a lot. And another guy I PC a lot is Mike Trout. I think he's kind of the Mickey Mantle of our generation, especially as sports cards goes. So I got every Mike Trout as a PSA 10 except for the rookie and the 2020. So I think that was a pretty cool set to collect. I think down the road that'll be one well worth having.
Cool. Well, you showed some slabs. You talked about it. Let's go ahead and indulge into it. PSA SGC Beckett. I think you've watched my videos. You know where I'm pretty clear. I like to diversify.
Right.
I am a main SGC guy, but I'm not going to cut my nose off in spite of my face.
Right.
And I agree with Nolan. Elite Code 3, it depends on the card, depends on who it goes to. But what's your thoughts on slabbing and?
Yeah, for me, obviously it goes without saying, slabbing is going to, go Yankees, Con, all rise. Slabbing obviously is going to greatly increase the value of any card, right? So I mean that's just kind of common sense. If you've been in the game, you kind of know anything raw, you could double, triple it, based on the grade that you get. It is crazy to think about, the differences between PSA 10s, BGS 95s, SGC 10s now. Now SGC has that gold label, which is outselling PSA 10s. So it's kind of crazy to think about all the, different, like you said, diversifying, right? For me, there's certain cards that I just want. I know I'm going to have them forever. I don't care what they grade. I just want it in a slab to protect it. With all my Mantles, they're all 1s, 2s, 3s at best. I just got this in the mail today. So Roger Maris or SGC 3. There you go there. My camera's not, or the light. But I mean, these are just cards that I wanted in a slab. I wanted them to be protected. I wanted them to know that they were authentic. Excuse me. So for me, that's why I slab a lot of my stuff on my PC. Bull Gator, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping by.
What's up, Bull Gator? Hey, y'all, watch out. Gator's going to be on here later this week. So
talk about that Tatis PC he has going.
Yeah, I know. It's wild, ain't it? For ones of us that know it, man, he's got the best Tatis.
Unbelievable.
Thing. But yeah, I'm doing my first group submission with baubles and cards, and he's sending it off to SGC. And like what you said, you got a card and you wanted it protected, and he was showing me some love today and said, "Hey, this Kobe, it's off. Had a card similar, same product, it was off. Do you still want to send it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead and send it. It's just for me. It's for
right.
people. I wasn't going to sell it." So I mean, that's showing some love. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that just wants to get something slabbed.
Right. Yeah. It's just something about getting a slab card. What's up, Mike and Triple? Thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate the support.
Hey man, we're famous. We got Triple Crown and them up in here, man. We celebrities now.
I know, right?
I guess they were trying to preview what the opening day is going to be between the Yankees and the Nats.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see. That's going to be a great matchup, though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to be able to watch it on the Nat side, so I'm sure I'm going to have to mute the commentators for the Yankee perspective and get my satellite radio channel. Oh, man, everybody's piling in here now. But some of them, is, if you don't mind just retouching a little bit for some of the folks that joined in, man, when it's breaking and you're starting out, just kind of pitfalls. If somebody's wanting to be a breaker and they're wanting to start out, what's the best advice you got for them? And my buddy Bart. Before you answer, I got to give Bart, PSA guy, a shout out. Brother, thank you for showing your man cave. It's looking sweet, brother. Sorry.
No, you were saying the biggest piece of advice. I think the biggest piece of advice would be build your platform first. A lot of people that I see now, and I know, Triple Crown Trading is also a big breaker. Definitely go check him out on Instagram. Awesome guy.
Super nice.
Yeah, super nice guy. I think the thing that a lot of people are doing now is they think, hey, I can buy a box. I buy a box for $100, right? I'll just post it on Instagram and put a magic wand. I'll sell it, and I'll make $200. I'll do 10 spots for $20. Now I just made $100. Well, they're not thinking about, they don't have any customer base. They don't know what goes into shipping, which is a big problem in breaking. You get into an expensive break, and then you get expensive cards, that are damaged or aren't protected or get lost in the mail just because people aren't taking proper precautions. So, I think that's a big thing is just lay your groundwork first and then worry about the breaking after you already build your base. I think that's the biggest piece of advice I could give.
What challenges are you facing with shipping and with supplies, getting cards properly protected? What do you do to protect the card? I know from experience, but what do you do?
Yeah, so what I do is I can try to pull them actually if I have anything. Top loading cards is an obvious thing. I think I'll just pull big Glaber guy. So let's say you pull a Glaber rookie from a 2018 Chrome break that you're doing, right? First thing you should do is, I don't even know if I have it. Yeah, I do. Got some stuff next to me here. For those who don't know, clear tape is out. The move is painter's tape, blue tape. So what I do is I take the blue tape because I don't want that card sliding out, and blue tape is the move because now I can tip it upside down. The card's not going to come out, even if it's in a bubble mailer. But the big part about that is it's not really pretty, right? So when I want to take it off, look how easy it is to take off. Doesn't leave anything on the, it doesn't leave anything on the top loader. So I think a lot of people, they just use tape like this, or regular tape, and that leaves streaks, and nobody likes that. Pretty much the top loader is now useless if you want to display it. So that's a big thing I do. Also, I would put it in a team bag. So you can put multiple cards in team bags. These are, sealable. And you rip it off, put it in a team bag. That's step number 2. I'll just go through all the steps that I do. And this is just for one card, right? So if you go, you join my autograph repack, or you join, a product where there's going to be, you just get the one card and it's an expensive one. The next move I do, clear tape is a nightmare. It's cardboard, right? You put the card in between the cardboard, like so, and then I tape it around. So, you kind of get the idea. It's taped all around. Now this is exactly how I mail it out. So I put this in a bubble mailer. I have one right next to me. So a bubble mailer, you see on the inside, there's obviously bubbles. Put that in, like so. You seal it up, and then now you got a protected package. UPS can't really bend it. If something were to cut the top, it's not even getting through the cardboard, let alone the top loader, God forbid the card. So that's exactly how I ship my stuff. I know I usually get cards delivered like that, but sometimes you just get them, in a plain white envelope, and you're expecting tracking and all that. And tracking's a big thing too. You never want to get accused of pulling somebody a big card and then not having it tracked and then being like, well, I never got the card. You never want to be put in that situation as a breaker. So always shipping stuff with tracking.
Do you do on some of your big card ticket items? Do you do any of in the option for the buyer from the break to add insurance?
Sure. Yes.
Service you opt?
Yeah. So I hit the biggest card I've ever hit in a break was a Ronald Acuna refractor rookie auto. So for that, just kind of DM the guy privately after, and he wanted to add insurance. So I kind of split the cost with him. So if you want to add, $1,000 worth of insurance on something, whatever it comes to, I'll split the cost with you. That's how I kind of do it, and it works out for everybody that way.
When we were talking about slabbing, I noticed you had some older SGC cards, and just talking about slabs and stuff. And we got some people in here that slab PSA and SGC. I know I don't necessarily like the SGC label. I like the big numbers, but I wish they would do something more with the label, more of a hologram kind of deal.
Okay.
If that SGC, I love the black tux though. Getting back into the hobby, looking at that and PSA slabs and Beckett's, I said SGC had the nicest looking slabs. Not counting retail, nothing like that. Just coming back into the hobby. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think aesthetically, I'm a big sucker for the SGC slab. If we're just talking about pure aesthetics, I think the black, especially if you have like a chrome card or a rainbow foil card, something like that, I think it makes the card pop. I think what you were mentioning before was obviously just the this top part, right? So PSA kind of has that as compared to SGC, the big number, and the black. So if you were to compare them, I think aesthetics alone, not going resale value, I would pick SGC to slab a card. But that's just me. And I think that's kind of what makes it fun. I'm not a big BGS guy. I've never spent anything out there to get graded. Personally, I only have one BGS graded card, and it's an auto. It's an auto. So the 9.510, it's kind of standard. You'll never really get a 1010 from BGS, it seems. So
cool. I got to give me a sippage myself.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man. So, have you ever thought about doing a break with slab cards or doing a repack with slab cards?
So yeah, I actually do. I do a repack with slab cards. It's called the Little T repack. So for me, I think it's kind of cool. A lot of people are, who are coming back into the hobby, they didn't even know what slab cards were. And now they're like, man, I really want to do it, but the process is kind of confusing for me. I've gotten a lot of things with, hey, how do you submit stuff? I'm the kind of guy who it's confusing for me as well. So I send my stuff out. I send them out in group submissions. It helps with the price point. And, it also helps, to have a second pair of eyes look at something and be like, hey, if you want this, not for personal, but if you're looking to resell it, I don't think this is going to get above a 9. So my eBay is Carter, my first name, and then my last name, Rana, R-A-N-A. So CARTER, RANA 12. I don't have much up there right now though, and I don't have any breaks up there at the moment.
I'll let you answer Bull Gator's question first.
Would you send your high dollar cards to SGC? Well, I think if you're looking to resell it, I don't think it's kind of denying that. I would be doing you a disservice to say that PSA isn't your best route, right? So the thing about PSA is you're either got that 9 or a 10. You don't get the 9.5. So, if you're like, hey, this card might get a 10, but it's probably looking more like a 9.5. You might want to send it to BGS or SGC. If you're like, no, I think this card is definitely good. I think it's gonna, gem mint. I think it's obvious. You got to send it to PSA if you're trying to sell it. If it's for your own PC, though, if you think you're going to hang on to your Tatis, forever, like I know you have that beautiful Sapphire Tatis rookie, and you'll probably have that forever. You might be like, hey, I'll submit to SGC if I like the slab better. That's what I think kind of makes it, fun. So.
And I agree. I've sent high value cards. I'm talking population 1 of 2.
Mm-hmm.
1 PSA, and I sent them there because if I wanted to resell them,
Mm-hmm.
or if something happened to me and my family had to get rid of this,
Right.
they would get something.
Right.
That's a slight SGC because I'm an SGC man first, but and I've sent high-end cards to SGC too. I look at it as not only is it a high value card, what am I going to do with the card? Am I looking just to flip it? And it's a high end card, and I'm willing to make the weight on a true ROI definition.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about what a true ROI video discussion is and get educated, go to Bobbles. He's got the best ROI definition video there is out on YouTube, hands down. So I would refer you over to that on a true ROI. You got to play in wait time and everything else. So if it's something quick, you're willing to sit on, you're just going to sell, it's high-end card, I'm sending it to PSA. If it's a high card, I'm maybe going to sell it, but I'm going to keep it PC. I'm going to SGC, especially that blue sapphire. Oh my God, I think that would look so fat in a
exactly
tux all day long. And with and some of the discussion on SGC is the wait time. Does SGC? Oh, sorry. Does SGC? What does it mean? Bumping it earlier. Is bump going up in price or going down in price? Is that?
Or you mean? I think it might mean just maybe live a long life now. I know you're talking about if something happens to you, you got to get rid of these cards. There ain't nothing gonna happen. We're in for the long haul now.
And honestly, on that blue sapphire, I don't care who you grade it with, PSA or SGC.
Oh, it's a great card.
You get money out of it.
Absolutely.
You want to flip it. Card. It's just you're walking around with an ATM in your hand because it's going to give you cash. SGC holds its money. SGC gold label is in a lot of the cards now are outselling PSA 10s. 9.5s are outselling. Some other PSA grades 9, even a couple of 10s, depending on what the card is, has been getting SGC. Getting SGC out and out in the marketplace where people, and that's my take on it. They're up and coming. I mean, if you can trust SGC to grade a tobacco card, pre-World War I or the Warriors, how are you not going to trust them grading a modern card?
Right. Yeah. So I think another thing is, these graders, they get trained. SGC guys get trained, PSA guys get trained, BGS guys get trained, Beckett grads, I should say. But they get trained on their own standards. So, I can't speak for them, but one company might, corners and edges might be more important to them as far as, the overall grade rather than, the centering, or the centering on the back might not be as important to one company as it is the other. So, Bulgari, to answer your question, I think it all is contingent on the card that you send. If you got a card that's a PSA 9, you're like, well, I think it'll at least get a 9.5 SGC. It could get a 10. Well, I think you just got to look at what SGC, values and grading. I can't speak for that. But, if you find a video that, or if Nats, man, what they're looking for, I think that's what you got to look at. I think every card is going to be different, though.
SGC is big on centering, huge, front and back.
Right, and back too. A lot of people, don't look at that.
Yeah, and Bull, I would refer you over to SGC and PSA's websites. They tell what their grading criteria is. And BGS, there's folks that are happy with BGS. I think they're big ugly bricks myself, and I've had 2 BGSs and submitted a Wander Franco on card auto Bowman Chrome first. So I paid out to get them to grade it. Yeah, Bull, to answer your question, it depends on the card, to be honest, and looking at it. Because I know some people will look at a card and be like, well, I know PSA is a little easier on centering and tougher on edges than maybe SGC is. I'm going to roll the dice and see what I get. So, and then with, if you've got something slat, I've heard an argument for both sides. Sending a graded card over to get looked at to see if they'll bump it up in grade, to see if it'll meet your minimum grade. Just know if you do that, they're going to charge you whether or not they slab it or not. It doesn't matter who you go to.
Right, exactly.
What do you think some of the trends are going to be with ball coming out, with cards and breaks, and you think it's going to go up? You think you're anything like that? What's your thoughts about it?
I think it's going to be real interesting. I think obviously what we're going through right now, in the card community is unprecedented, right? The spike, how long is it going to last? Is this just the beginning? Are we at the peak? Are we at the apex now? I think it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. I do think that cards and, the breaking community, it's around to stay for a long time, a while now. But as far as, single card grades, I think it's an absolute toss up. What's going to happen? I'm holding on to certain cards, hoping that they're going to get a bump. If you got, I know like Adley Rushman is on the roster for the Orioles. He might see time, or it's just crazy to think that these guys might see time already based on what's going on. It's such a shortened season, they're going for it all. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting year. I think the prospects are going to have a big chance to, prove themselves, and you might see some big bumps on a lot of prospects.
And that's good to hear, because I've had that same thought. I've said that before in earlier videos, and you don't hear a lot of it. I think this is the year of prospect players, because you're going to – a hot streak and a cold streak is going to be significant this season. Because if you put the Nationals in where they were at this time last year, or leading up to this time last year, they would have never been in the World Series. But who was on the hots and didn't make it?
Right.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah,
so,
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. PSA's got a question.
I do. I did a full case break of 2020 Tier 1. I did one that was pick your team. I like doing that because, you kind of – it's kind of like a love-hate relationship I have with pick your team, because all the good teams kind of get picked first, and even, and then you're like, well, I don't really want the Marlins, even though they're just $20 compared to, the Yankees being like 140, 150. It's just kind of, you see those teams kind of dangling there for a little bit, whereas the random teams, I think, you can price everything a little bit lower, and they sell a lot faster. So I like doing this new format on Instagram, which we call it one picked, one random. I love doing that format. For a product like Bowman, you can make the Yankees and the Royals a random team. Everybody's going to want the Yankees and Royals because of Dominguez and Bobby Witt. So if you do one picked, one random, I know a Nats fan's probably going to pick his Nats. If you got, a Tigers fan, he's going to pick his Tigers. And then going in, well, I also have a shot at getting the Yankees as well. So I think that's my new favorite format that I'm doing right now. And I'm playing with some other stuff, but one pick team and one random team is good.
CW's got a question for you.
Yeah, CW. Product I'm looking forward to. I love Topps Chrome. Love Topps Chrome. I think it's such a, aesthetically, it's such a good product, and it's got, the flagship kind of mark on it as well. So Topps Chrome, I'm definitely looking forward to coming out. I can't wait for it to come out.
Cool. Anybody else got any questions? Floor's open. We're throwing them up there. And that's my phone. That's my music studio.
Yeah, that's what I thought, right?
It's funny. I'll tell y'all this. I've got from when my doctor's office calls. I have a female doctor, and I've got the doctor. Who can it be now? when their office calls. Let me turn that off. Somebody from Fayetteville, North Carolina, is blowing my phone up, and I know nobody in
There
Vietnam.
you go, right?
Oh
What are
man,
you most looking forward to? What products are you looking forward to that's coming out?
I was really looking forward to the Sapphire, and my feelings was hurt on the price before it ever came out. Because I had bought the Topps 2020 Series 1 case.
Mm-hmm.
The one I've had two really good pulls. I did really good with the rookie class, did excellent. And I had that Jordan 8 of 10 acetate clear card
No shit.
and sold that, and was very, very happy with that card. You know, I'll be transparent. I ain't gonna be as it, but I got over $1,000 for it, and I had that graded GC, and it graded a 10, and I got over $1,000 for it. So I was very happy with that. I was disappointed with Series 2, but on the Series 1, I also got the Bow Weekend Uni, the white uni card.
Mm-hmm.
Got that. I think raw that card's going for like anywhere 70 to 90 bucks raw, depending on who's listing and then on what day. So I've got that sent off to get graded. I'm looking forward to see how they're going to do this with Topps Chrome or Topps Chrome Sapphire, especially with Lewis Robert. I've got to see him play. And y'all, it's Lewis Robert. It's Lewis Robert. He ain't French. He's of Cuban descent, and the way he wants his name pronounced is Lewis Robert.
I know that was always Mr. Is it Robert? Is it Robert? That I saw an interview one day. He said it's Robert, so that worked for me.
So yeah, that's what he wanted. So hey, Chili's on here. We're gonna give a shout out. Hey, this is a cool guy, Chili Sports Card. He's pretty cool. He's got his little pic with his dogs there. In his videos, you can hear his babies yapping, and my wife's like, I just love those little dogs.
Yeah, you probably hear my dogs all the time when I break. I have she's a pit beagle mix, and she loves to play, so she gets a little anxious when I'm breaking. So hear her barking sometimes.
There we go. Yeah, Thompson twins. So where you're from? Hey, let's look at you. But Robert sounds so fancy. Yeah,
Dante, it does, man.
Getting my drink then triples. Hashtag Pinkies out. MLB. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what they're doing, especially my American League team is the White Sox, because I'm born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we got their AAA team, the Knights, and then we've got their single A team in the town right next to me, Kannapolis. And so yeah, we got single A, and then in our single A league, they play. It's sad though when Harris, what was that? The national single A team, Hagerstown. I wear my national stuff when they show up. And
you gotta represent it.
It didn't help when my cousin's kid was umping the game either. And I'm yelling, "Hey, Blue, I love you, bro." But he's like,
get out of here. I see Triple wanted me to mention what my dog did. So I do I actually have it right next to me. So I mentioned I have the big C repacks, which are autographs, and the little T ones, which are have graded cards packs. So you get a shot, at like 2018 update, 2019 Series 2, shot at the rookies. So I had a Don Mattingly, just a PSA 5 rookie card that I wanted to put in there. And my dog got to it a little bit. You can see that there. So needless to say, this card, isn't going to be in the repack, so I got to pick up another one. But Yeah, I love my dog, but I'm just thankful it was a $20-$25 card. It wasn't I have some cards that are much higher. I'm very thankful she didn't bite up one of those. So yeah, my dog is a slab eater. You got that right, Bull. It's an eBay 101. I want to get this. I wanted to resend it and get it slabbed. See if they would slab it for me, like as a joke. I don't think they would though. I think I'd get it sent back. I just like it. I think I'm gonna keep it like this.
They may say it's been altered or trimmed.
I think so, right?
You think?
But she actually ate it just right. The face is still there in the bottom, so it's you can have a laugh about it. But if it was something else, I wouldn't have been so quick to forgive her.
Shoot, I know within the card community itself, and you're aware of this, how close knit it can become. Once it like on the breaker side, I mean, we got Triple Crown Trading in here. He's hot as well. You're hot. You're stoked. You're moving up in the breaks. It seems like to me. What's y'all's community like between breakers?
Yeah, so I think especially Triple Crown, Dante and I, we have a good relationship. We're in group chat together with people in the community. That's the one thing though that I did not expect. Getting back into sports cards was how tight knit of a community it could become. On Instagram, I thought I was just going to be promoting on there, promoting breaks, selling some stuff, but it's been the opposite. I've made some good friends on there. Look forward to watching and supporting other people's breaks and joining in. And, to me, I think that's the most surprising and the best part about being in the community. It's just the relationships that you can build with other people, hear their ideas. I hear some people say, hey, I'm PCing that guy. Like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me check out what they're like. And, you start getting questions that way. And, the relationships has been great, especially amongst breakers.
Now, I know with in the car community as well, like we said, and you brought it up, we got people that are scamming people and stuff. I guess, how do y'all handle the scammers? Do y'all have like an inside track, hey, this is one I've had happen to me, do y'all within the chat rooms, or how do you get that information passed out so other breakers aren't being taken advantage of, which ultimately leads to your customers being taken advantage of?
Right. So fortunately for me, I really haven't ran into that problem very much I think I only had one person who kind of backed out last second on he was like, oh, I'll take this spot. And last minute he was like, oh, well, I need to go to the bank. And it was just, kind of got the vibe that he wasn't being completely truthful. I mean, that's the only time I can think of that I dropped somebody's name in a group chat, a private group chat that I had. But a lot of people post stuff on their stories of people's accounts saying, hey, don't do business with this person. They're scamming. I just, spent $300 and I never got anything back. They deleted their account, and people share that. So I think, if you check out people's stories on Instagram or on their, their posts, you can kind of get an idea and just try to avoid, those accounts.
When you do a live break, what's your typical deadline? Because I can remember maybe a week or two, I saw on one of the videos that I watched, because my office, I'm lucky enough, I'll remote work from home. And so I'll put y'all's videos up during the day, listen to them, like podcasts.
Right. I do the same thing.
Yeah. And I saw a breaker where this dude, and I want to say even I saw it on our Instagram, was where this guy was like, hey, this breaker, he didn't take my payment. Told me I was in, and then there was this huge card pulled.
Ah, jeez.
I want to say it was like National Treasures product, something like that. Right. I mean, what would be a way to handle that? How do you handle, this is your deadline to get in? Some breaks where they're just waiting. They're waiting for somebody to join in on the session. I don't see the purpose of that. If you've paid for it, you shouldn't have to watch it if you didn't want to. I mean, if you were up, something happened. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong or fill me in.
Yeah, for me, life happens. Nobody ever has to be present. If you signed up for a team or a spot, and life happens. If you're not able to make it, that's fine. Typically the way I handle it is, I don't really do much on eBay anymore. but eBay's easy because, you have to pay before you check out, right? On Instagram, if I've done business with you in the past, I have a bunch of friends on there. If they're like, hey, I can't get you to the money until, tomorrow, the break's on Friday. Is that okay? Yeah, no problem. If it's kind of the first time I've ever dealt with you, probably going to need like more, the heads up on the payment, until we build that relationship. So that's kind of the way I go about it. I'm very easy. I haven't really been scammed. I think I've only had to, the worst I've ever had to do is wait like a week after for somebody to pay me. But, fortunately, I haven't really had to deal with that. But that is something that, I've seen a lot of people have to deal with it, and it's unfortunate.
Wow. Oh, so you got a comment here. Let me get here. I'm having to flip back and forth. You know everything. Yeah, you're right, CW. And we got to, I think, and that leads into, that could be a topic we can discuss too, is the Facebook groups. I'm going to call it out. I'm calling them out. PSA Collectors Facebook group. I had some PSA cards. No, I had SGC cards because in there you can post one every card. I had the Jordan Alvarez SGC 210s and a 9.5 SGC graded error cards. And it said error card, no top seal fold stamp.
Okay.
It's an error card.
Right.
And so, I mean, they're going for several $100s listing. The ones that are able to get through to get graded. Evidently they're catching some and not catching all of them as far as like grading. So, I'll put that in there, and evidently the price police or the pricing administrator for the group, like I can get this card for $25. Well, yeah, you can. If you're paying $25 for a raw card for Jordan, you're overpaying anyway.
Right.
But if you think you're getting this SGC or a PSA or a Beckett error card for $25, bro, you're smoking crack. But it's PSA, it's the legit PSA Collector Facebook, and I had one guy actually comment and said wants the error. I mean, he wasn't being a dick or anything. He was just like, wants the error. And I said, it's in the listing. This is it. And I said, thank you for not being, and I put the the eggplant symbol emoji, not being one of those and asking. It's appreciated. It seems like everybody, and the people that made the comment don't have any content in the group. They've not sold anything. It's like keyboard bullying or something, slamming people's cards and stuff. That is my pet peeve on these groups.
Absolutely.
So I didn't know what your take on that was.
Yeah, my take on that is I agree. For me, like you said, I've heard you say this before, but a card that I cherish that would probably my favorite card that I own is a Jason Giambi 2003 raw beat up Topps card. It was the Topps traded when he was his first card as a Yankee in Topps. So when I was a kid, I used to idolize him. And that card is, my most cherished card. Now you could probably buy it on eBay for, like 99 cents or something. If that's who you PC, that's who you like. Yeah, it kind of bothers me a little bit when people flex their muscles and shame people for not going after, just the big cards. Not everybody does this because they have, hundreds and thousands of dollars to spend on, Zion PSA 10s. Some people just enjoy collecting because, they like collecting their guys. So yeah, the shaming and making people feel bad for who they collect and what they collect. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, and I don't think it represents getting what Bart put on here. It's the link. It's the one for the guy that does PSA Collector videos, which I like some of his, his stuff. I do my submissions the way he did his tutorial submission to PSA. The way he packages stuff is exactly what I do for SGC or any other order now. Even when I sell a card, I pack it the same way he shows. So I like a lot of his earlier stuff, and I can't believe that of course he didn't see it. He's not going to be on there. He's got people to moderate and stuff on a group of that large, and I wouldn't expect him, to be responsible for that content, because I don't think from what I've seen, he's that type of guy that would allow that to happen. So I did want to put that out there. I'm not holding PSA collector responsible. I do like your content. So,
and to answer Chili's sports cards question, I saw it. I didn't want to keep you waiting. I don't get like special dibs or anything like that. I buy from either my LCS or Blowout typically. Fortunately, like I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, I was fortunate enough to pre-order a ton of stuff while prices were still manageable, and that really has helped. But now for the new stuff coming out, I had to buy Bowman Super Jumbos for $550 just like everybody else. So just know like sometimes you feel like you might if you join a break, just know that most of the time the breaker isn't getting much of a break, no pun intended, on the prices. So if they sell something at cost or a little bit above it, that's why.
If you're getting in and you're wanting to get on a break, and as a consumer, what should I be looking out for? What should throw a red flag out that this may not be all it's cracked up to be?
Yeah, I think be knowledgeable of the product, I think, is something that's important. If you join a break and that the product only costs $100 per box, right? So you join a break for $100, that is $100 box, but he's charging $20 a spot per pick your team. 20 times 30, that's what, $500. Quick math. I think that's something that you should kind of look out for. It should be in the ballpark of what, just because I have to ship this stuff out. That's not cheap. Bubble mailers, top loaders aren't cheap anymore. I'm sure everybody knows. Those have even skyrocketed in price. So I think look at the price point. Yeah, those are a dime a dozen now. I think that's something you got to look for, and I think just the reputation of the breaker. If they've never done any breaks before, nothing against them, but you might just might have to ask some questions before you join in. I know you trusted me with my first break. I'll never forget Cotton Top cards hitting a couple autos, I think, in my first tier 1 break.
Yeah.
From there it was kind of history, but I think just ask questions if you're iffy. I've had a lot of first time breakers join into my stuff, which is a great feeling.
Any stories about any relationships that you built with breakers or other breakers or customers where the friendships you've developed some friendships?
Yeah, absolutely. Triple Crown's on here, supporting me. He's kind of the guy who I've kind of looked at what he does and kind of, in my own way, try to mirror it. Everybody, he had these awesome basketball repacks that he was doing. I don't do basketball, but if you're into basketball, he has everything. He's got stuff that you can't find. I don't know how he finds it, but he'll find it and he'll rip it open for you. Personals, breaks. I've had a great working relationship with him. Kind of feeding off each other, getting different ideas. I always pretty much, if I have, when I had the idea for the repacks, I was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you guys think? They give advice, so it's definitely a tight knit community. So I have lots of good friends in the breaking community.
Cool. Let's see. Chili's got another question here.
Doing 2018 Top Series 2 soon. No, I actually haven't really thought of going back into the older stuff. I kind of 2018 Top Series 2 would be something fun, just kind of to hunt for the bat down Acuna. I do the little T repacks. I have packs of 2018 Top Series 2 in there, but as a full break, no, I really haven't thought of doing it. And that, for example, would have to be a break where the Braves are a random team, because everybody's going to be looking for that Acuna bat down. So
yeah, y'all, we've got his Instagram and his YouTube channel. He does his breaks. He puts them on YouTube. He's on Instagram. He's on eBay. So hit him up on Instagram, DM him. He will reply. He's very reachable. I know I had probably 10 or 15 questions before I was in on your break, because I it's like, great, and this guy's been nothing but nice. He's got great content, very honest on the way he does business. So I highly suggest him. What are Razzes? Do you do Razzes? Thought about Razzes? What's your take on Razzes? What is a Razz?
So a Razz is kind of, that's a big thing that I say, that you'll hear me say all the time. If you're in my breaks, or if I'm joined, is, cards can be feast or famine a lot of the time. So what a Razz is, for instances, and thanks, Chili's, I appreciate the support, and absolutely Triple. A Razz is, I'll just take this for example. Let's say this is a $30 card, right? PSA or SGC, I keep on saying PSA, have it. SGC Roger Maris card. I want to sell it for $30. So what a Razz would be, all right, there's 10 spots. Everybody pays $3 a spot. So now as a seller, I'm getting $30. Now, I would go into random.org, or you could pull out of a hat, and whoever is selected, either on random.org, it would be like, the person who's the top pick gets that number one, or, if you pick out of a hat, obviously that person, they would win the card. So it's kind of everybody buys it, and then only one person gets it. So Razzes are very risky. I try not to join too many of them, even though they are very, very enticing. When you're like, man, I could spend $20 and I could, for $20, I could get, a Gleyber Torres PSA 10 rookie, and I have a 1 in 6 chance. It's very enticing. Sometimes I Razz spots in my breaks. If I'm having a certain team that's having a hard time selling, if it's a $10 spot, I'll do, 5 spots, $2, something like that. But yeah, Razzes are kind of like a raffle ticket. Exactly. They're risky. I try to stay away from them, but you can win big. They're very feast or famine.
With that, breakers are getting a little heat in the community with product disappearing. I had a local card shop, my local card shop guy tell me that breakers, when the ones that are getting from the manufacturer or from wholesalers, is that they were doing breaks on products that the local card shops wouldn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they're getting prime product ahead of local card shops, because they've shown that they buy this stuff and it's based off of their record.
I completely believe that.
How hard is that as a breaker to get moved into the wholesale market?
Yeah, so for me, I'm not even there yet. So for me, I'm buying stuff on secondary markets. So I'm buying retail like everybody else. The people who are doing it for a living, who are busting out cases and cases of things a night. They're working with the distributors directly. But I totally believe that. I've heard those guys say it themselves. Like, oh, they're making me buy, garbage pail kids. I have to sell this in my store. But they also, they're breakers. So like, oh, they're making me buy, WNBA 2020. I don't know how I'm going to sell this, and you hear jokes. It used to be soccer was the big one. Now soccer's already selling very well. I mean, I know Triple Crown can attest to that. I see him selling that stuff like hotcakes. But before, 2-3 years ago, they would be like, man, they're making me buy all this soccer. I can't sell it. But I definitely believe that. And I think that, they kind of build that trust that they're always going to come back. So they kind of get, the first dibs on those products.
Yeah, soccer's wild, because it's been maybe the last 3-4 years, it's made a bigger push here in the United States. And my local card shop said he actually sells more soccer product than he does anything else, sports card wise. And he said 99% of it is on eBay or
wow.
online selling is soccer product. He says it's outselling. He says football's taking a nosedive. But he said soccer, basketball, baseball, football.
I believe that. Yeah. I mean, basketball it's crazy now. I had a family member who I kind of was telling about what I did on the side because I have a full-time job. I kind of just like, yeah, and, do this on the side. I have a good time with it. It's fun. You can, make some more disposable income off of it. He's like, oh man, I should do that. What makes the most money? And I was like, honestly, if you're in it, if you want to be a breaker to just make money, you're probably not going to do well. But basketball is what's selling right now. Everybody's hunting that Zion. Everybody's hunting that, the Jazz. Even older products. You're looking for Tatum, Luka, Trey. I don't see that going away anytime soon. So, I think, for me, I think a good investment, something I've kind of been doing, is investing in not only singles, but investing in boxes of products, even if it's just a blaster box. You could Google right now how much a blaster box of 2011 Topps Update would be. Single packs are like $1,000. It's crazy. So I invest in boxes. I have a couple Prism boxes that I'm kind of hanging on to and hoping in a couple of years, I spent $50 on them. They're already over double that. So, basketball, soccer, crazy.
I know I jumped on, and I've got 2 boxes of 2018 Topps Baseball All-Star set, with the silver full stamp.
Mm-hmm.
Still boxes of that I'm sitting on, and a 2019 box I'm sitting on, and I am not breaking them. And the price at Target, they were $50. 2 months ago, they were $50 online. Target had a sale, and sports cards are part of the toy, and they had a toy sale and online. Mm-hmm. Those boxes now are going anywhere, sealed box, $150 to $200 a box.
I believe it.
And it's like, that's for the 2018, and the 2019 are going like for 100 sealed boxes. And it's just, I'm just going to sit on it. Sometimes I want to go in there and crack them open.
Oh man, that's the tough part for us. Like we want to. I rip. Like I get.
I want to rip.
I don't like it sitting there. But sometimes I got to be like, all right, no, it's there for a reason. You waited this long. Just wait a little bit. Longer. So
when you're doing the rips for the breaks and somebody gets a card, I know you're happy for them, but is there a little piece of you that goes, damn, I wish this was mine?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think any breaker who, says otherwise would be lying to you, right? The worst part about being a breaker sometimes is when you have people buy into an expensive break and they don't hit anything. The whole box is just kind of crappy. That's the worst feeling. So I would take people hitting big any day of the week. I remember, they get better with age. Absolutely, Chili's. I remember I broke open 2018 Topps Chrome a couple months ago. And that was just the craziest box I've ever opened. I had a Cunha refractor auto redemption, Walker Buehler auto. Just the autographs were crazy. We hit every rookie, hit parallels of rookies. It was the craziest box I've ever opened. And I was like, man, I should have put that one aside for me. But when other people hit big for you, that's how you can. For some people, if they don't hit with a breaker, they won't come back as a customer. As silly as that sounds.
Have you, Eric, from those back pages, you watch any of his videos, and his background, he's got what appears to be boxes upon boxes of sealed product.
Mm.
I would, just looking at he's got to have $100,000 worth of product sealed if he wanted to sell it.
Right.
I'm just like, I would be like, dude, don't invite me to your place.
Yeah, I'll just start ripping it.
Room, and I'm Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how you look at that every day and not just want to bust it open.
All right. Well, does anybody got any questions? We're getting ready to wind up. I'm gonna give Big C the mic on some final thoughts. Does anybody got any questions, comments, concerns? I know there's a little bit of a delay with YouTube, so. He does, Bart. And Bart would know. Bart knows these guys, so. Here you go. Here's them.
Thanks, Bull, man. You too. We'll be in touch. Definitely talk soon.
Absolutely. Big C, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think final thoughts is just sports cards are thriving right now. Anytime Trip, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate the support. Sports cards are thriving right now. But I think the most important thing is it's supposed to be fun. Don't lose sleep over, losing an eBay bid, getting sniped on an eBay bid, or just have fun with it. That's what I always try to do. If you can do that, sports cards at the end of the day, we all love doing this. Love to collect and collect what you love. Bottom line, you can't say it any better than that. It doesn't matter who you don't judge anybody on what they collect, but I think definitely there's nothing is more fun than sports card collecting to me. So.
And y'all make sure, I've been scrolling it, some of this stuff. Man, look at that. Man, got you two subs.
Bart, thank you, man. I appreciate the love.
Bart, man, check his videos. If you ain't never checked his video, and he's good people, man. I think the world of him. And got him going to come on the show. So we're going to be getting that scheduled. But, man, I really appreciate you taking the time coming on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Work week, man, it's awesome. I've been throwing, everybody knows, check Big C Little T Sports Car out on his YouTube channel. His Instagram is bigc.littlet.sportscards. And give them your eBay store again. You said you do have limited products out there.
I do. I have a couple things. It's my first name, which is Carter, so Carter, and then my last name Rana 12. That's my eBay store. So got a couple of stuff on there. Be on the lookout. Definitely be posting some more stuff there pretty soon.
Cool. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you, everybody, taking time out of your busy schedule. I know there's a lot of other channels that you can be out there watching and doing your time for. I really do appreciate it. And I got to see what this comment is because I see somebody laughing. That is his woman. That's the.
I'm Big C. My girlfriend Ty is Little T. Shout out to her. Always supporting me, and we love ripping together. So if I didn't have her, this wouldn't be nearly as fun.
So awesome, man! Thank y'all for participating, being great. We've got baseball back.
Yes, we do.
So we gave y'all a little promo. You can tell that a Yankee and a Nat can get along, and we all need to learn that lesson. Nats.
Yankees.
All right, closing words. Keep your head up, eyes up, head on a swivel. We're going. Peace out, y'all.